In this example, we want to solve for x. We don't actually have to figure out what the other angle measure is by plugging it back in, but that's a very good thing to do to check your work if you wanted to. So with the first example, we have just a triangle, and instead of another angle measure here, we have some expression. Well, we know that when we add up all three angles, so 55 and 54 and x plus 74, that must total 180. So 55 and 54 is going to be 109. Ooh, we could have actually done a little more here. So I forgot about this one. You can combine them all in one step if you want. You could have done 74, 54, and 55. But anyway, 109 and 74, that would be 183. Now we'll subtract 183 from each side. I have to move this up a little bit. And x will be -3. Now at first glance you might say, well, you can't have a negative angle, but x is not an angle. X is just the value for this variable that makes this triangle a triangle. You could try this out. So you could substitute -3 in for x, making that angle measure 71. And again, this is the solution. We're just asked to solve for x. But you can double check your work by adding 55 and 54, which is 109 and 71, and that's 180. And so the value of x that makes this, all three of these angles add up to 180, is indeed -3. Let's take a look at example B here, and we're going to do the same thing actually, because we have a triangle and we know that all of these add up to 180. So we can do 89 plus 57 plus 5x minus 6 is equal to 180. Now when we do 89 and 57, we're going to add those together. Those are like terms. Those are called constants. No variable there, and constants are always like terms. So this is going to be 100 and, oh boy, let's see here, 146 I think, and then we're going to subtract 6, so this should be 140. If we combine 89, 57, and -6, now we just have to subtract 140, and 5x will be 40, divide by 5, and you'll find x to be 8. If we substitute 8 back in, and again, this is the solution for this, the directions say to solve for x. However, if we substitute this back in, we'll have 5 times 8, which is 40, minus 6, which is 34 degrees. If we add 34 and 57, we get 91. 91 and 89 is 180. So it's actually very easy, if you substitute your value of x back in, to figure out if you found the correct value of x. If you find that those angle measures don't add up to 180, then either you checked your answer wrong, did some arithmetic or an order of operations error somewhere in there, or you got the wrong value of x. Probably the more likely of the two, but either one is possible. Okay, let's take a look at C and D, and I think that'll round out this example. So if we take a look at C and D here, for C, we still have a triangle here, and instead of an actual angle measure, we've got an expression for the angle, and here there's an expression for this angle. We know that this angle here is 90 degrees. So we can do one of two things here. We can just add these up and set these equal to 90. We know that in a right triangle that these two angles are going to be complementary. Or if you want, you can do the longhand and see how that works. So we've got x plus 37, we don't need the degree symbol here, plus x plus 67 is equal to 180. And you could subtract 90, and x plus 37 plus x plus 67 would be 90. Okay, so there's your complementary rule here. Just wanted to show you that. There's lots of different ways that you can solve for x here. We're going to combine like terms though. It's going to be 2x, and 37 and 67 is 104. We'll subtract 104 from 90. So we have 2x is equal to, this should be -14. Move that up a skosh for you. Divide by 2, and x will be -7. Now you might be wondering, negative value for x, is that possible? Well, it sure is. -7 plus 37 is 30 degrees, and then -7 plus 67 is 60 degrees. So we've got a nice little 30, 60, 90 here. In this example, we need to do a little bit of figuring to begin with, or make some logical conclusions, and then we'll be able to use our triangle sum theorem. So this angle is 80, and this angle on the inside of this triangle here, and 80 degrees, those are vertical angles, so they're congruent. 60 is over here, and we know that these two are vertical angles and they must be the same, or their measures must be the same, they're congruent. So now what we can do is we can take 80 plus 60 plus x plus 51, set that equal to 180. Those are the three angles of our triangle. If we combine like terms, we've got 140 here and 191 there. So we could subtract 191, and x will be negative 11. Let's just double check to make sure we haven't made a mistake. So negative 11 and 51, that would be 40. So the measure of that angle is going to be 40 degrees. And if we add all three of these up, 40 and 60 is 100, and 80 is 180, then that value of x does actually make sense.